Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Video and Podcast series where we talk about digital marketing tactics and strategies to help grow your business. Today I want to talk about how will voice search impact SEO in 2020. And again, SEO, for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, is search engine optimization. So it was interesting on Prime Day, my mom sent me a link to what she had just arrived in her mailbox was for Amazon Auto, which is basically a Bluetooth device that connects to via your automobile and allows you to use search using the Amazon speaker devices, smart speakers. And we're going to see this this tool, this technology and capability. And by the way, it's like $24.99, right? Like it's cheaper than a Fire Stick or a Chromecast or what have you. And if your car is enabled with Bluetooth technology, you can connect this Amazon device with your vehicle and activate voice commands for your vehicle, whether it's looking for directions or just looking up information, turning on XM radio, or literally just voice command. And I know here in Florida, we recently had legislation that passed that basically states that texting while driving is now a motor vehicle infraction and offense, which you can get pulled over and you can receive a fine as well as points on your license. It is a moving vehicle offense. So, this technology is not only being, driven by legislation, but also by consumer demand. We want what we want, and we can get it a lot faster by saying, hey, Amazon, or whatever your smart device is, and we can ask for these queries. So what that means for businesses in 2020 is that, the search signals are going to be impacted by a couple of different things that we've kind of already seen, what that looks like. But I think that what we know is by 2020, 50% of searches will be voice command based, whether we're saying, Siri, tell me where this is, or go Google and we're using the Google device, or if we're using Amazon or some other voice activated device. But I think that understanding and knowing that is going to be key. The other thing that's going to really impact SEO in 2020 is going to be the power of really rankings or reviews that are provided by individuals, because that really indicates, hey, I'm a human and I'm saying that this business is good or bad, and here's my stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the third piece, if you're really kind of break this into three things: understanding how voice is going to impact it, understanding how reviews is going to impact it, and then how engagement in the social web. We've already seen, Google updated their algorithm nearly 2 years ago when social signal became part of its ranking factor, but that is going to continue to increase, whether that signal is from Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn. Those social shares of people who are sharing content from websites to social platforms, that content is going to get louder and stronger. And if you think that the data points from social interactions aren't important, just go look at and watch, if you haven't already. Netflix just released a brand new documentary called The Great Hack, which is basically the inside story to Cambridge Analytica, as well as the 2016 presidential election. Fascinating documentation, but you will really see how these data points and what's being collected and how that the data harnessing of power. The one thing right off the bat that just absolutely blew my doors off was, one of the main characters was former employee of Cambridge Analytica, and she said that the greatest asset in the world today, data surpassed oil in 2019. And I think that's a huge signal if data is more valuable than oil. So these data points that are being signals from engagement of likes and shares, across social web that has that direct correlation back to content that's published on your website, man, that really makes blogging content and content that you're sharing from your website to social channels even more important. So we know that, when we really look at, there are some basic things that are not ever going to change, and that's relevance. Is your content actually relevant, in to that person's search? So understanding the behavior and how people think about your business, how they phrase it. If you look back at one of our previous episodes about sticky words and great or secret locations to find, how people are describing your company. That's a great article, but relevance is still going to be key. Distance is also going to be key. So if you have a brick and mortar location, those locations that are nearest to the person based on their IP address, their physical location, that's going to have an impact. So that's obviously more local search engine optimization compared to sort of big picture global search. But the third factor, which really started to come into prominence probably in 2016, which was prominence, and that's the calculation of a site's popularity through different signals like reviews, social signal, and things of that nature that are being really driven by human interaction on the web. So I think that the things that we're going to definitely want to kind of keep in mind is the rules for 2020 as it relates to search engine optimization is that, whether you have a product or a service, knowing that how you rank in terms of overall, public opinion of favorable rankings, your business service and how that ranks is going to play a big role. And so again, that's why reviews are so huge. So whether you have a TripAdvisor ranking or a Yelp ranking, all of these data sets are going to be pulled into the knowledge panel of your business for Google search. So it's going to be really huge. And we talk about the marketing funnel all the time. We talk about the bottom of the funnel, which is that after conversion, having loyalty and brand advocacy. That piece is really critical when it comes to SEO for 2020. I think secondly is obviously your popularity, specifically your brand mentions. When people talk about your brand specifically, there's going to be a connection of, it's not a link, it's literally a brand mention, because the entire social web, if it's public, is part of data that is being collected and mined and put together in a searchable and discoverable data set, and Google is going to continue to mine that data. I think thirdly is your brand engagement, or your brand engagement, how you interact with individuals on a one-to-one basis or on a one-to-many basis through your social channels. It's going to be really critical. So really how we kind of work through that is it's going to be really important that Google has the most accurate information with regards to your business name, your address, your videos, your images. WordPress has a great plugin right now that you can install and you can publish to Google AMP, which is accelerated mobile pages. That's a great tool to make sure that you're publishing video, or excuse me, you're publishing images as well as your text content. Obviously, YouTube embedded videos inside of blog posts is very key. But I think it's important that we understand that in 2020 the landscape's going to change, and what we've been doing before in backlinks and things like that are going to become slightly less effective because what's going to happen is those data points across the web that are signals from really humans interacting on top of social platforms to really indicate what brands they're actually looking for when it comes to the product or service that they're looking for. So again, to recap, what's going to happen in 2020, what you need to make sure that you're aware of, number one, is that more than 50% of searches are going to be done by voice, that reviews are going to continue to impact the algorithm. They're going to have a weighted score. So asking your clients to provide those reviews is huge. Your engagement on social media is going to be part of the algorithm, what's going to impact search. And then, of course, as we said, relevance, distance, and prominence, which is all about your popularity, your engagement. All of these factors are going to make such a huge difference in 2020. So, for companies who've been, sitting back and thinking that the social web is a fad, it doesn't matter if Facebook is going to go away or Instagram is going to fade or Twitter is going to explode. It doesn't matter. We are going to have something that lays on the top of our mobile devices, because our life is going to continue to go that way, and there's going to continue to be platforms that we're going to engage on a one-to-one and a one-to-many basis, and not be bound by geographical boundaries. And that's what the social web allows us to do. So these signals are going to continue to boost, and brands that understand that brand is going to win. At the end of the day, guys, here's what's going to happen. If I say, hey, Amazon, get me the phone number to Hungry Howie's Pizza, they're gonna say, the nearest Hungry Howie's Pizza is on 294 Northland Road, Tallahassee, Florida, and the phone number is 850 blah blah blah. Would you like for me to dial that for you? Yes. Or if you say, hey, Amazon, I'd like to order a pizza, the big brands like Domino's, Papa John's, and brands of that nature, they're going to buy that ad space, and they are going to be the players. And Amazon's response to, hey, get me a pizza, is going to be based on those big boy players who have put mega money behind that. So that is why brand is so important in 2020. Why your brand entity and your brand engagement is so critical for you to start building now, and start leveraging and publishing content at scale to raise your brand engagement and raise your brand awareness. So when people want to ask for the product or service that you offer, they ask for it by name. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.